Good morning, everyone. It is truly an honor to be here today with fellow community members, elected officials, entrepreneurs to welcome you and to introduce someone who's truly made a difference for small business owners like me and like many of us who've invested in the future of our city. My name is Jimmy Drummond. I'm a proud Washingtonian, architect, and a certified business owner of Drummond Projects. Like many of us in this room, thank you. Like many of us in this room, our work is rooted in legacy. As a leader of an emerging design firm, we design spaces with the belief that what we build today will impact generations to come. That perspective shapes how we think about equity, sustainability, and the responsibility we all have to shape the future of Washington, D.C. This kind of long-term thinking is not only possible in a city when leadership is intention about creating opportunity. For more than a decade, Mayor Muriel Bowser has made a very clear priority to ensure that small businesses and CBEs aren't on the sidelines of development, but fully at the table. Her administration has illuminated real pathways for local businesses to compete, to grow, and to win meaningful work in ways that are both sustainable and impactful. Because of her leadership, businesses like mine not have only survived, but we've expanded. We've hired locally and reinvested in community and taken on projects that will allow us to help shape the physical and cultural future of this city. As we stand here today in this beautiful, newly renovated Cap One Arena and look towards transformational projects like the RFK campus, her strong CBE participation goals send a clear message that long-term vision must include long-standing local voices, and that development and legacy go hand in hand. I also want to acknowledge Director Rosemary Suggs-Evans, who continues, sorry, I get chills when I say her name, continues to champion small business across the district, as well as our leader, Deputy Director Nina Albert, whose partnership, absolutely, y'all give it up for her, whose partnership and leadership turning visions into real progress. This work succeeds only when policy and execution move together. On a personal note, I recently became a father, and that has profoundly deepened my understanding of legacy. When I think about spaces we build, systems we design, I look at her and it really gives me the sense of what we are doing this all for. That's why this moment and this leadership matters. Mayor Bowser understands that when local businesses are empowered to build, the entire city is strengthened economically, culturally, and generationally. So with that said, it's my honor to introduce a leader whose vision continues to create opportunity today while laying the groundwork for the future. Let's give it up. Let's give it up for Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Well, good morning, everybody. Jimmy, let's give Jimmy a big hand for that introduction. I so appreciate it, and I so recognize the hard work that it takes for small businesses to bet on themselves, to create, to hire people to work in Washington, D.C. And what you will appreciate is you need a lot of projects for that little baby because they keep us going, don't they? So welcome to the Capital One Arena, and we are in one of the newly renovated spaces that is part of an $800 million renovation of Cap One Arena that is going to be the current and future home for our Washington Wizards, Washington Capitals, and of course the Washington Mystics are a part of this very special ownership group. And we are here today, as Jimmy has stated, to present and to celebrate the DC small business community and to present our new guide for working with the District of Columbia, our Green Book. I, too, want to recognize Rosemary Suggs-Evans and the outstanding team at DSLBD. Give them a big round of applause. Rosemary's predecessors, they didn't fully understand what I wanted to accomplish with the Green Book, but Rosemary understands it really well. And what the Green Book is our roadmap to working with us. I began the Green Book because I would run into entrepreneurs all over the city, and they would tell me what they were working on, what they did. In some cases, there was a synergy between what they were working on, what their business did, and what DC government was doing as well. But I would tell them the surefire way to work with us is to provide something that we are buying, something that we need. And the surefire way to know what we are buying is to ask the agencies and to ask the agency directors. And it would be even more efficient for us to put it in one place, for us to outline our buying in advance so that you would be prepared to work with us. And I see my old friend Vincent Orange here. Give Vincent Orange a big round of applause. And he's heard me tell this story, maybe you haven't. But before I was in the government, before I was even on the council of the District of Columbia, I was watching a council hearing. Yes, I'm one of those people that watches Channel 13 for fun. And I saw this council member like really giving it to the agencies one by one, every agency in the government coming up before this committee. And he would ask them about their CBE spending goals. And they would have various bad responses for why they weren't meeting their goals. And I even said to myself then, if that was ever me, I would have a good answer for this committee about how I am meeting my requirements to work with small and local businesses. Now, this is also what I know about our program. It's not a guarantee that you can work with us. It's not. It is, however, the CBE program a way for you to say, I'm a small and local business in DC. This is why I should be preferenced. This is what I do. And this is how I'm going to go after the work. So what we are celebrating is since 2015, we were spending just over $300 million with our small and local businesses, which is, it's good. But now our goal is $1.5 billion to spend with our small and local businesses. So the Green Book is answering a few questions. Who's buying and what are they buying, and how can I get my foot in the door? So because of the Green Book, we can look back at the past decade and know that we've invested over $11 billion in our DC businesses through local contracting opportunities, which is a huge number. And this year, we're putting another big number with our goal because, my last Green Book, we had our biggest spend with CBEs, and it was a big number of $1.5 billion. And it's our goal that we also make sure that the biggest development in the history of the District of Columbia reflects our CBE spending goals. So this year, we're excited to introduce a new section in the Green Book focused on RFK. So it highlights the FY26 allocated budget and outlines upcoming opportunities tied to the largest private investment in the city's history. So the $3.7 billion RFK campus development represents, as Jimmy said, a generational opportunity for DC businesses to access contract and procurement opportunities that are on the public side, but maybe even more importantly, to access opportunities on the private side. So that's why we've set a 40% commitment, which represents a 5% increase from the norm of CBE participation. And I would be remiss in not acknowledging former Councilmember Kenyon McDuffie, who really spearheaded our work on small business participation in this project. So those opportunities are coming and coming quickly, and we want our local businesses to be ready. So Nina would frequently say, the deputy mayor is here somewhere, we are talk frequently about RFK, and we mentioned its opening date in 2030, but the work on RFK is happening now. We are letting contracts, the commanders are letting contracts, subcontractors are letting contracts related to RFK right now. So if you're interested in working on RFK, what you should not do is say, Mayor, when you see me out somewhere, say, I want to work on RFK. But what should you do? Go to the Green Book, look at the opportunities, and make sure that your company is RFK ready. You should make sure that you are signed up or on an email list, whether it's with us or it's with the team or it's with the various consultants that have been hired, to make sure that you're going to be notified when there are opportunities available. So with that, I'm going to stop talking and we're going to hear from other friends, including the council member for Ward 7, Director Rosemary Suggs Evans, followed by Crispus Gordon, who's representing Monumental Sports in the beautiful Cat 1 Arena in this renovation, and then we can take a couple of questions. Okay, with that, Councilmember Felder.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How y'all doing?
Good.
My name is Wendell Felder, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Ward 7 council member, and it is truly an honor to be before you all. First and foremost, I would like to thank Mayor Bowser for her unwavering commitment to supporting small and local businesses here in the district. Our mayor has truly been a staunch supporter in supporting small businesses, whether it has been through microloans, grants, or initiatives like Obviously DC or the district's comeback plan. She is all about ensuring that businesses stay here in Washington, D.C. I would also like to thank Director Suggs Evans for the work that DSLBD is doing to create more opportunities for small and local businesses. Now, as the new chairperson of the subcommittee for local business development, I look forward to continuing to build on this work. Now, I know one thing is to be true. You cannot talk about government without talking about business, and you cannot talk about business without talking about government. Those two go in hand, like a marriage. And when you talk about business, government, and the Green Book, that's like talking about a honeymoon, and that's where the magic happens. Now, as our economy shifts because of the policy changes that are happening on the federal level, locally it is our responsibility to create new opportunities for small businesses. Now, as we look ahead, I am focused on ensuring that businesses in every ward have real opportunities to procurement, whether that's technical assistance and the resources needed to grow and scale. Now, it is also important to note that this work does not happen in isolation, and I am committed to working collaboratively with my council colleagues, the mayor, and all the applicable agencies necessary to strengthen our small and local business economy, making it easier to do business in the district, and expanding new pathway opportunities for certified business enterprises and small businesses citywide. I encourage business owners to use the Green Book as a planning tool and a roadmap to tap into business opportunities here in the district, because the reality is your success is essential to the district's success. And I look forward to working with both public and private sector stakeholders to ensure that that happens. And with that,
good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm pulling it down. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. Maybe we can't see you. Pull it down a little bit more. Okay. Thank you, Council Member. Thank you, Mayor Bowser. Today is one of my favorite days of the year because the Green Book is more than just a publication. It's a promise that when the district invests, our local businesses, especially our CBEs, are not left out, but positioned to win. At DSLBD, our work is grounded in a deep and ongoing commitment to the CBE community. We are focused on keeping DC dollars in DC, and just as importantly, ensuring our businesses are truly ready to access them. That means helping CBEs prepare, compete, and connect to real procurement opportunities across the district. The FY26 Green Book is about clarity and access. It shows where the dollars are, what agencies are buying, and how CBEs can plug in early. At DSLBD, we're also focused on making the process easier. Through improvements in the district enterprise system, we are connecting CBEs directly to procurement opportunities by matching agency needs with CBEs that can do the work. That means businesses can more easily find opportunities that align with what they already do best, and agencies can more easily identify qualified local firms. This year also marks an important moment to pause and say thank you. And I'd say thank you, Mayor Bowser. For more than a decade, the Green Book has been a cornerstone of how the district does business. And for the past 10 years, under Mayor Bowser's leadership, it has helped district dollars local and open doors for CBEs in every ward. Her leadership has ensured that opportunity is built into our systems and sustained over time. For the first time, this year's Green Book includes a dedicated section on the RFK campus redevelopment, a generational investment in our city. This project represents the largest private investment in DC's history, with a clear commitment to allocate 40% of spending to certified business enterprise, also known as CBEs. Building on the successful approach DSLBD used with Monumental, including targeted matchmaking events, constant communication with project partners, and hands-on relationship-driven approach to connecting CBEs, we are applying the same model to the RFK campus. That proven approach will continue to support and reinforce the district's CBE commitment by ensuring local businesses are engaged early, kept informed, and positioned to participate throughout the project's life. So our message to businesses is simple. Now, CBEs, you're in the room. I want to make sure you hear me. Let me know that you're here. The message is stay engaged, get Green Book ready, get CAP 1 and RFK ready, because the opportunity is not coming. It's already here. This is what it looks like when the city invests with intention and follows through. Thank you, and I'm happy to turn the mic over to our monumental partner, Crispus Gordon.
Good morning, everyone. Let me begin first by thanking Mayor Bowser for your partnership and support of monumental sports throughout the years. I also want to thank Deputy Mayor Albert, who's over to my right, for her encouragement, her support, and her partnership from DMPED, and also Director Rosemary Suggs Evans. Let me just tell you a quick story. When her office reached out to me and wanted to have the Green Book press conference here, I was like, well, let me check with the people internally before I commit. I went home, had dinner, and went to sleep, and I had a nightmare. And the nightmare was Rosemary walking down the street, pointing her finger at me, saying, "You're going to host this." And so I woke up in the middle of the night and hopped on the email and sent the email to Charlene and said, "We're going to host it. I'll figure this out later." So we're glad to have you here as well. Soft touch. Yes. Also, as a Ward 7 resident, I definitely want to acknowledge my council member, Wendell Felder, for work that he's doing. Glad to have you as my council member in Ward 7. Here at Capital One Arena, we believe in CBEs. We, as Barry White would say, you practice what you preach. And so we believe in that here in Monumental Sports. When a district committed to appropriating $515 million to Capital One Arena, we decided we were going to do 40% of that spend with CBEs. And I think prior to us, I think the largest CBE project was the Frederick Douglass Bridge. And that gave birth to what we're doing at Capital One Arena, which has given birth to what's taking place at RFK. So that's progress. When you look at the United Globe Club here, CBEs did that. If you see the vault suites on the concourse level, CBEs did that. When Ovechkin goes to his locker room or Trae Young goes to his locker room, we're going to put a big sign and say CBEs did that, letting them know. And so when the arena renovation is completed, CBEs would have played a vital part, not only in the renovation of Capital One Arena, but as well as the renaissance of downtown D.C. So on behalf of Ted Leonsis and Zach Leonsis, our ownership group, as well as our senior leadership, we want to thank you, Mayor Bowser, for your partnership and all that you have done. Maybe we'll get you to ride the Zamboni before the end of your term. We'll try to make that happen. Thank you all for coming to Capital One Arena. Let's go Caps, let's go Wizards, let's go Mystics. And before I step down, Mayor Bowser, I'll be giving explicit instructions to welcome you back up here so we can do the Green Book signing.
All right,
there we go.
All
right, thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Crispus. And I want to acknowledge that our DOB director, Brian Hanlon, is here, who's leading our efforts at RFK. My senior advisor, Lindsay Parker, and Deputy Mayor Albert has been acknowledged. So let's sign the Green Books. I can take a few questions. Yes.
Mayor Rebecca with Channel 7. Can you...
If I could just, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking a few press questions. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. Can you talk about how important do you feel it is for businesses to invest and to be part of the stadium project? And how much of a level of involvement would you like to see?
Well, Rebecca, we laid it out in both her term sheet and all of the official documents that were approved by the council, what is required. We like to see 100% of work being done in the district. And here's why. Because DC businesses pay DC taxes, they're more likely to hire DC residents. And when they grow their businesses, it's a bigger benefit to the district in terms of the corporate return that the district receives. And we want the opportunity to grow and increase the number of businesses that have the capacity to do that kind of work. So that's why it's always important that when we have a big project like the one here at Cap 1, people will get experience, which will allow them to qualify for even bigger and better jobs that we have in the district and elsewhere.
And do you have any recommendations for businesses who would like to be involved, maybe some ways they'd be able to stand out more?
Well, I always tell people if you want to get hired for something, to do your job. So perform well, get experience, always stay connected to and follow what's happening. Don't wait for somebody to knock on your door, but go and knock on a bunch of doors and make sure people know what you do, what you're capable of, and get yourself hired. Yes.
A couple of off topics.
Sure.
I wonder if you could just update us on the snow recovery and specifically on trash removal for those in alleys, and then I know you guys are doing a lot of work trying to get the bus stops accessible. I know the bus stops themselves have been cleared, but from the curb to the bus stops, I'm just wondering if there's any update on progress there.
I think I probably have a specific number related to bus stops, but I'll ask DDOT I may have it actually, to get back to you with the specific number of bus stops that are getting an additional pass. And we have been providing on a daily basis the trash update. And I think as of Sunday that we are caught up in alleys writ large, but there are always alleys that something would have been missed. And so our teams, we had an escalation, we call it an escalation team out yesterday addressing any misses. So just to recap what we did last week so that we would not lose a week of garbage collection, we did something that we've, to my knowledge, never done, and that's cleared pathways in alleys. Snow removal, as you know, the district focuses on its roadways and public facilities, and residents focus on sidewalks and alleys. Given how long the ice would remain frozen, we had to take an extraordinary step and go into alleys and make a pathway for our DPW workers so that they could access the alley safely. And that's what they did all of last week. So my recollection, Mark, is that we should be caught up on alleys, and we are addressing misses, which we know likely happened. This Monday started regular collection. So people should see front side and alley side collection starting this Monday, and we are addressing any misses. And in some cases, I'll just give you an idea of one thing that our crews encountered over last week. They got into the alley, they could get trash out of the alley, but in some cases the cans were frozen in place, so they couldn't get to those. And so some of those are showing up as miscollections. Crews may have been there but have been unable to release the cans from the ice. So it's supposed to be 40 degrees today, where you have stubborn ice near your home, or you may even have your can like that's trapped in that ice. We all need to be trying to chisel out of those issues. We also have been, and I'm very, very grateful to our DPW crews and our entire team at DPW, where they concentrated, of course, in that first week on dealing with snow and removing it from roadways, getting schools open, first in the region. But at the same time, they were picking up trash in city cans so that you didn't see trash piling up along our streets. Then they switched and came up with a plan to do something that they'd never done, send bobcats into alleys. Then they went into the alleys to start to pick up trash. So we regret that the snow caused 1 week of disruption to trash, but by the 8th day, there was a plan to resolve it, and I think they've done it.
Do you have any update on the partial closure of 14th Street?
I understand that we have a concern around a DC water asset, and that's what I know at this point, that they're addressing it, but it's a fairly urgent issue.
Could I ask you about decoupling? It looks like the Senate now will vote, I guess, before Thursday, I think is their deadline to vote. Can you tell me, kind of going back Did you support the council's actions, decoupling, passing that legislation? And I'm wondering if it was you usually send a letter to the council before they take action. I'm wondering if this was actually in that letter and what your stance was going into this.
I believe that this was better handled in the budget process, which I shared with the council. I don't always include things in my letter that I think could be not helpful on the Hill. But where we were very clear with the council on what we thought was the best way to handle it, and the measure proceeded without my signature. Having said that, the council passed it. The Congress should respect it and recognize that, and I take the council at its stated position. It was not to upend any preference of one politician, but they saw it as the best way to deal with the district's finances. But here's the bottom line. It's very practical. It's not political. It's not ideological. It is a practical consequence of a change at this point. It could really disrupt in a negative way our local tax filing deadlines and collections, which will have an impact in some way, and I'm not really completely sure of all the implications at this point of how we manage FY25.
I appreciate it. I just have one last.
Yes.
What, if anything, can you tell us about? There's been conversations in a community meeting last week about the possibility of some type of ICE facility going into Ward 8. I don't know if this is a detention facility or some other type of facility. What, if anything, do you know about?
I've never heard that, Mark. Are you talking about DHS and their headquarters at St. Elizabeth's?
I believe it's more specific to ICE.
Okay.
And I apologize, I don't know enough to ask.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I wonder if somebody is conflating the long-planned DHS headquarters facility that is being built at the St. Elizabeth's campus is replacing the current DHS facility that is in Ward 3.
If I can ask a follow-up on the decoupling, can you talk about, should the Senate pass this, how detrimental could it make things? Because there's also the child tax credit is linked to the legislation as well. And DC Fiscal Policy Institute is saying that the decoupling only keeps the district from replicating the one big, beautiful bill tax cuts at the local level.
That's correct.
So if you can talk about what you'd like to see happen from here, and should that not happen, how detrimental would it be?
Well, as I said, Rebecca, I'm not completely sure of all of the ramifications because the CFO's office is responsible for our local tax administration. So what I know is that many people have already filed for FY25. For calendar 25 because it's now February. I haven't, many of us will wait until April, but many people have filed. So it may mean that they have to refile or adjust their tax filing. It means that the CFO has to change his forms, guidance. The CFO will have to talk to the providers, like the third-party providers, like the H&R Blocks of the world or the electronic ones like the TurboTax. So a DC resident, very practically speaking, may have purchased their tax software, for example, and it will have how to file federally and locally. But now whatever that local program is on their TurboTax that they may have on their desk right now won't likely work if we have to change our guidance midstream. So there could be a compromise. Perhaps the council will indicate that calendar 25 could stay as it is, not to disrupt the 25 tax filing season, and commit to a change for 26. That could be a possible compromise that they could discuss with the Senate. My message is to the Senate is don't disrupt tax filing season 25 because it is I think I just can't even imagine what it's like to tell thousands of tax filers, oh, I know you filed, you did what you were supposed to do, but oops, can you do it again? And then tell everybody else, oh, I know you're used to paying on April 15th, but don't worry about it. Pay in 2 months. The way you get people to comply with paying taxes is to keep it simple. When you don't keep it simple, people may not be compliant. And it's not because they don't want to be. They're living their life or they're running their business. And so the best way to keep people compliant with their tax filings and payment is to keep it simple, and not disrupt it. So that's my message to the Senate. Putting all policy considerations to the side, let's focus on the practical effect of what they would do. All right, thank you, everybody.